This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. And now also available on the AB4WS radio show YouTube channel. Michael Coulter, WHCI, the Dayton Hamvention Award Chairman, has announced the 2026 Hamvention Award winners. The Technical Achievement Award winner is Robert Famiglio, K3RF, who has spent almost 60 years in amateur radio, blending technical expertise, legal knowledge, and leadership in emergency communication. Licensed at 13 years of age, he earned a BSc in electrical engineering, a doctorate in law, and is now admitted to practice law in several states and before federal courts. For more than 40 years, he has served as a volunteer counsel advising hams on PRB1 matters. He has been elected to ARRL leadership positions for multiple terms. The Amateur of the Year award goes to Dr. Jose Otis Vincenz, NP4G, who was first licensed at 16, and he developed a passion for amateur radio. Born and raised in Puerto Rico, he was the only amateur radio operator in his family. He later moved to the United States to study biology at Purdue University, where he became active in the W9YB Amateur Radio Club. In 1998, he helped provide amateur radio communications to support Puerto Rico following Hurricane Georges. He graduated from the University of Puerto Rico School of Dental Medicine, specializing in pediatric dentistry, and returned to his hometown practicing orthodontics. He is an avid DXer and has participated in many DXpeditions, including Beauvais Island. He is the current president of the International DX Association. The Special Achievement Award winner is Martha Fell, N3QBE, and Joe Fell, W3GMS. In 1966, Joe earned his novice license at the age of 14. Joe retired at the age of 56 from a 34-year corporate career to successfully launch his own business, creating a program where he and his wife mentor students of all ages and interests. They help on a weekly technical net, which has become a primary resource for both new and seasoned amateur radio operators. The Club of the Year is the Long Island CW Club, which is an online Morse code training community built to help everyday hams become confident and proficient in CW operations. Instructors are all volunteers that offer a range of classes from beginner through advanced in a format to allow them to move from copying characters to a true conversational flow, utilizing new and inventive teaching methods, sharing the joy of operating CW on the air. Congratulations to all these 2026 Hamvention winners. The Xenia Marathon will be held on Sunday, March 29th, starting at 8 a.m. and ends 6 hours later. The amateur radio volunteer operators are needed to assist with communications, reporting race progress, runner injuries, and the need for assistance, logistical issues, assist race marshals, in addition to spotters at designated locations along the course. They'll also utilize several bicycle mobiles to patrol the course and track the tail runners. They expect to use the X-Horn repeater on 147.165 with a PL tone of 123.0 hertz. If you do not have a radio, it is possible a loaner can be provided. If you would like to volunteer to help out, contact Bob Baker, N8ADO, at n8ado.bob@gmail.com. Interested in ham radio? Well, 2 radio clubs in Cincinnati will be offering a one-day instruction in how to get a license. The day will feature an overview of ham radio, tutorial sessions on various topics needed to pass the exam, and a practical advice on how to choose a radio and put up an antenna. The session will take place on Saturday, March 28th from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at the Red Cross Building, 2111 Dane Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. Participants will be expected to obtain a textbook and thoroughly read it. Instructors will not go over the book in great detail, but will instead attempt to answer any and all questions participants have. Much of the material is rather obvious on a close reading, so the instructors will concentrate on the technical sessions that may need further explanation. The textbook will be the ARRL Ham Radio License Manual 5th edition. Please note that the FCC question pool changes on June 30th of this year, so the manual is good until that time. There are many find websites and information and practice exams that students can make use of. Once signed up, students will receive links and other materials to help them prepare. To sign up for this instruction session, please email hamtutor@ohkoin.org. This is sponsored jointly by two radio clubs, the Queen City Emergency Net and the Okayan Amateur Radio Society. Interested in learning more about 630 meters? Well, at the Dayton Hamvention this year, there will be a presentation on the introduction to 630-meter operation by Paul Dubose, K8PD, who has designed the low-down antenna and many products that are offered commercially for the 630-meter band. Paul's recent article in the February 2026 QST magazine has fostered a lot of interest in operating in this relatively new ham radio territory. The forum is tentatively scheduled for Saturday afternoon. You may also catch him at the Radio Source booth, number 1002 in the Maxim Building, number 1. With the onset of the usual spring weather, it is important for all amateurs to be weather aware, and a nice addition to help you keep up with the weather happenings when things get dicey is the Kentucky Severe Storm Weather Net, held on XLX 721 Alpha Multimode Communications Network. Because of the history of increased severe weather, the monthly scheduled net held the first Monday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time will now become a weekly net for the next few months, held every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This gives you a chance to check in and make sure your equipment is working so that when a storm hits you, you are ready. There are multiple ways for you to connect to this multi-mode communications network. If you have one of the M1KE devices, just connect it to XLX 721 Alpha. For DMR, connect your hotspot or connect the repeater to Brandmeister Talk Group 3121232. For C4FM radios, connect your hotspot to YSF Reflector 51149. There are two ways to connect the network by D-Star. Either connect to DCS 721 Alpha or connect to REF 056 Alpha. For Echolink, connect to KY4RW-L. This allows everyone to communicate with each other regardless of the mode you are using, and you can hear everyone regardless of the mode they are on. This is a really neat system that is up 24/7, except for Echolink, which is only active for the nets. So check it out anytime. And thanks to Ray, KY4RW, and Larry, NN4H, for this neat multi-mode communication system. Well, it's almost spring, and you know what that means. The Flying Pig Marathon is coming to town May 1st through the 3rd, and Steve, NATFD, is looking for amateur radio volunteers to assist with the race administration and communications. If you can help, reach out to Steve at natfd@fuse.net. In celebration of the 250th anniversary of the country, the ARRL has kicked off the America 250 Worked All States operating event. Each state will have 2 weeks of using W1AW call with their call sign district. This week, from March 18th through March 24th, will be Hawaii, W1AW/KH6, Kentucky, W1AW/4, and Minnesota, W1AW/0. Next week, from March 25th through March 30th, is North Dakota, W1AW/0, and Oklahoma, W1AW/5. For more information on this event, go to ARRL.org/America250-WAS. On March 21st at 9 a.m., the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club invites anyone interested in amateur radio to come on out and meet with them for breakfast at the Golden Corral, 4770 Houston Road in Florence, Kentucky. On March 22nd from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Can-An, Indiana Volunteer Fire Station, 8881 North Can-An Main Street, Madison, Indiana. They'll be celebrating Earl Buchanan, KB9DDO 90th birthday on March 21st. Earl is an extra class operator. Happy birthday, Earl. On March 23rd, it's the Amateur Radio Emergency Team of Northern Kentucky KY6ET meeting at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. The business meeting is at 5:30, but come on out for the special presentation at 7 p.m. by Brad, W9FX. The Kentucky Summits on the Air Group is hosting the 4th annual Kentucky Campout on the weekend of March 28, 2026 at the Kingdom Come State Park in Cumberland, Kentucky. They'll be hosting a pancake breakfast at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday morning at the upper pavilion of the main camping area. Make sure you make your campground reservations by calling Sherry at 606-589-4138 or email her at sherry.cornett@ky.com. census.gov. And also email Michael, N4DCW, the Kentucky Soda Association Manager, at MICHAEL at N4DCW.com to RSVP for the attendee roster. Up-to-date information can be found at reflector.soda.org.uk/T/Soda-Campout/39146. On Thursday, April 23rd at 6 p.m., there'll be a National Weather Service Weather Spotter training class at the Grove of Springfield Township, 9150 Winton Road in Cincinnati, Ohio, behind the fire station. Registration opens up at 5:30 p.m.
Repeater news.
Are you looking for the most up-to-date list of repeaters in the greater Cincinnati area? Well, I have an Excel spreadsheet where I've listed repeaters that are active in the area, separated by tabs for each band or mode, so you can easily look for just DMR repeaters or 2-meter analog repeaters and so on. The list includes 2 meters, 220, 440, 6 meters, D-Star, DMR, C4FM, P25, and some other classifications. Every time I update the file, I include the date and the file name so that you know you have the latest update. To download the file, go to the AB4WS Radio Show Facebook page and go to the file section and download the file. If you're not on Facebook, email me at ab4ws.radio@gmail.com and I can email you the latest file. If you see any errors, problems, additions, or corrections, email that information to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Hamfest.
On March 28th, from 8 a.m. to noon, is the Columbus, Indiana Hamfest at the North High School Cafeteria, 1400 25th Street in Columbus, Indiana. This is an all-indoor flea market with hourly door prizes, free parking, food and beverage purchases to benefit the Boy Scout Troop 549, along with VE testing. April 11th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club 70th Hamfest at the Media Open Sons Expo Center, 48 East Bath Street in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. For more information, go to cfarc-hamfest.org. April 26th is the Tusco Amateur Radio Club 2026 Hamfest Computer and Electronics Show at the Tuscarawas County Fairgrounds, 259 South Tuscarawas Avenue in Dover, Ohio. For more information, go to w8zx.net/Hamfest. April 26th is the Athens, Ohio Hamfest at the Athens Community Center, 701 East State Street in Athens, Ohio. For more information, go to ac-ara.org. May 2nd is the Lucas County Amateur Radio Emergency Service Hamfest from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Merchants Landing Bingo Hall, 6182 Summit Street in Toledo, Ohio. The granddaddy of all Hamfests, the Dayton Hamvention, will be held May 15th, 16th, and 17th at the Greene County Fair and Expo Center, 210 Fairground Road in Xenia, Ohio. For more information, go to hamvention.org.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the third Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On March 24th at 6:30 p.m., the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will host an amateur radio testing session at the Cuyahoga Falls Public Library, 2015 3rd Street in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. For more information, email education@cfarc.org or call 330-929-8921. On April 20th at 5:30 p.m., the Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio exam session at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. You must register by going to hamstudy.org/sessions/NKY-VE. Special thanks to this week's content contributors: KE8BBC, KY4ROD, AC4HI, KD9EYU, WB8VNH, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NKU.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana tri-state area. This is Jack Prindle, AB4WS, normally in Big Bone, Kentucky, but this week coming to you from Port Charlotte, Florida.